The following is a hockey podcast out of Vancouver and Surrey, British Columbia. It'll only consist of a lot of puck talk and even more BS, or in actual words, banter and satire. Enjoy, and as always, go Canucks go.
We got to protect Adam Foote at all costs.
You're Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to the postcast here on Locked On Canucks. My name's Trevor Beggs. That guy is Kyle Bowen. This episode brought to you by FanDuel. Man, oh man, go check it out now. Get right in the middle of the action this season with the NFL by visiting FanDuel.com and place your live NFL bets all season long. Kyle, one of the things I was watching heading into this game is how close are the Canucks going to be to making history after this game? And look, they end this night with a loss. A regulation loss. Nashville picks up the win. Yeah, I'm watching this end of the standings. The Canucks officially 1 point out of last place in the NHL. Yes, you heard that correct. 1 point out of last place. You know what? I was actually looking for the Flames win tonight because they would have leapfrogged the Canucks. The Canucks are still sitting third last, but Calgary and Nashville only 1 point behind them. Adam Foote, man, say what you want about the guy, but he is the tank commander for this squad right now. I mean, shout out to Willie Desjardins. Just giving me those vibes. Again, Adam Foote, just another night. Look, you got to give the Canucks some credit. They're facing the best team in the league. They didn't get their asses kicked.
No, you don't. No, you don't. Another gutless performance. It's like no one, I guess, other than Kiefer Sherwood, it's like, okay, no one wants to finish their checks. There's no energy. Let's go home. Let's collect the check. Let's not listen to the coach. Our coach sucks. Like, I don't know, man. It was just collect your check hockey again. It is what it is. Normally bad teams play like that. Again, there's a lot of veterans on this team too, but again, they play like that. This is not that. This is a young team, but they still got a lot of veterans, and it just seems as if they just, they can't wait for the game to end, and they don't have a structure to lean on. They don't have a trust in their system. They don't have any hope. They have bad coaching. And Trevor, I got to keep this quick. That the audio sucks, and I got to get some stuff done. But what are the chances that Adam Foote gets fired tomorrow? No, for real, because if you're gonna save the season and you want to make the playoffs, or you just, I don't know, Aquilini, does he want to finish last place? I don't know.
Kyle, it's there's a 0% chance Foote's getting fired tomorrow. Why do you want Foote fired?
I don't want Foote fired.
He's achieving the unthinkable right now. He's leading the Canucks to the impossible. He's leading the Canucks to last place overall in the NHL. And look, Kyle, I mean, it's easy to blame the coach and the line juggling tonight. I mean, I was excited to see Lecker-Mackey on line one, but a lot of the lines just make no sense at all.
No,
I know they don't have a second line
coach.
center, and that's a big hindrance to this team. But like you said, no structure. There's not much strategy with the lines. I mean, look, for as bad of a job as Adam Foote has done with this hockey team so far in his tenure, you're also giving the guys in that locker room too much credit. You talked about check collecting hockey. These guys, this core, have been through, this is their fourth head coach, right? If you want to go back to Travis Green, Bruce Boudreau, Rick Tocchet, and Adam Foote. This is the fourth head coach. I mean, how many coaches can you have with the same group of core players and not realize that it's not really the coach, it's the players as well? And
No, 100%. I'm just like, how some people, like weeks ago you're saying, like Aquilini doesn't want to rebuild. There's still some people who say, oh, they don't want to finish last place. Like the NHL standings are so weird. The Canucks are a 6-game winning streak away, from like being right. Like, I don't know. I know that's like impossible to have, but I'm just saying, like the way they're playing is so bad. I just wonder if they can Aquilini and Rutherford and Alvin stomach this? You know what I'm saying? Like, this is bad. Like this, but again, same old story, rinse and repeat. I guess the answer is no. They're not going to fire Adam Foote. They're going to let him lead this tank parade. And honestly, good for them. If they keep Adam Foote, Trevor, is that not a sign of having a strategy? Because it is. It is.
I mean, that's the optimistic way to look at it. I think the real answer is probably rooted in the fact that, does this management team have the leeway to hire another coach? I mean, they convinced, not that Boudreau was necessarily the right guy, but they convinced ownership that Boudreau's not our guy. Let's get Tocchet. Tocchet leaves. and they replace him with Foote, which seemed like an odd decision at the time. And it's really, they've got egg on their face for it now, right? I I don't know what Aquilini's thinking, obviously. No one does. But you got to wonder, like, does this management team have the runway to hire another coach? Will Rutherford want to stick around for a rebuild?
Well,
Like, those are
did,
all legitimate questions right now, Kyle. And
did,
I for one, am just the way the Canucks are playing right now. Like you said, they're likely to subtract guys from this roster, and just let Adam Foote lead the tank event. Honestly, I mean, strange things have happened in the NHL. Like I was thinking tonight watching this game about how bad Jared Bednar was in his first season in Colorado. Like everyone thought Jared Bednar was going to get fired. He takes over that team, trying to get Nathan McKinnon back on track, and they just had one of a historically bad season. I don't think Adam Foote's going to just magically turn things around here because they don't have a young 22-year-old superstar in the organization. Their superstars are in their prime. But strange things can happen in hockey. And look, man, it's leading up for another late season run for the Vancouver Canucks just to ruin the draft position. That's how I feel as a Canuck fan right now.
Are you at all surprised? Because you are onto something with that statement. Like you just never know, and maybe he just needs another chance, another offseason to like correct his wrongs. We all make mistakes. We all suck at our jobs at points, right? Like it's just the truth. We all suck at our jobs at some points, and he it's not like he was given the keys to like the greatest show on turf, right? It's not all his fault, but at the end of the day, it's clear. It's so clear. It's so obvious. More than any Canucks team that I have ever watched, like more so than the Bruce Boudreau thing. Like this guy, like at least Bruce Boudreau had like a strategy when it came to like generating offense at like a crazy clip. Like this. Like it literally looks like nobody's listening to what this guy's saying. There's no practice. Like they're just warming up doing cardio during practice, like, and then, okay, let's get lucky in the game. All in all, though, he could get better, blah, blah, blah. But Trevor, are you at all just a little bit surprised that based on how bad it's been, Adam Foote doesn't even call a timeout? Like, have you seen those like Paul Maurice clips where it's like, and Adam Foote was such a tough guy, but where's that like, yo, finish your checks? How come nobody finishes their checks? Like, don't you guys care that you're a bottom dwelling team? Yeah, like a little, but then at the same time, it's the same core that's been doing this forever. So I get it, but there's just no fire. And Adam Foote if he can't coach the structure, like how did he win this interview? Like if he can't coach the structure, like you would hope that he would be good at motivating his players, but there's no motivation here. There's like, okay, let's see Quinn Hughes. Hopefully he can hit the net. And yeah, I don't know. Let's hit the net. I don't know. Like, exactly. That's all it is, Trevor. And it's a damn shame. And I'm just curious. I'm curious, like there was no trades last week. There's all these rumors. Does like Rutherford wake up tomorrow and is he like, you know what? We could try this. We could try this. Let's just fire him and bring Manny Malhotra up and get the coaches bump. Because I feel like if you bring any other coach in that lineup right now, you do a lot better. Like Adam Foote is doing the worst possible job. Like nothing's happening. Anyways, I gotta go, Trev. I'm gonna listen to you. Go Canucks, go. One love. Enjoy the tank. At least, there's some strategy here. If they keep Adam Foote tomorrow, wake up knowing, the Canucks are actually planning for a better future. Okay, I'm out.
There we go, man. One love to Kyle Bowen. And in terms of this management team hiring Adam Foote in the first place, my take is that the Galaxy brained it, right? They wanted a coach that had familiarity with that locker room after all the drama last year. And let's smooth this coaching change over by bringing back a nice, smiling, kind, familiar face. But honestly, he was probably never the right guy for the job in the first place. And, I hate being right, Kyle. I really hate being right. But what were we saying back in April and May after we learned that Rick Tocchet was not coming back to this team? That Adam Foote was probably the wrong guy for this position because this season mattered so much for the Vancouver Canucks. If they wanted to keep Quinn Hughes in the fold, they needed to have a good coach in place who was going to implement the right structure because they have the guys on this team with enough talent to be better when they are right now. They went with a guy who had zero head coaching experience in pro hockey. And sure, he's a longtime player, but we've seen just because you're a successful NHL player does not mean you're a successful head coach. And talking about, wanting to just give it to the guys in the room and then let them lead, that's clearly not working. This group needed somebody else. I mean, they had the nice hands-off coach in Boudreau as well. That didn't really work out. This team needed a different coach. This management team should have known better, but instead they went with the tank commander, Adam Foote. Hey, maybe it's all going to work out, Canucks fans, because like I said, the Canucks are 1 point out of last place. The Canucks have not had a pick above 5th overall since they drafted the Sedin twins in 1999. This team right now, if they finish in a bottom 2 spot, you can only drop 2 spots in the draft lottery nowadays. So if they are the second worst team in the NHL by the end of the season, they can drop no lower than 4th. And again, that would be the highest pick that this team has had in 26 years. Hey, I'm believing right now because this Canucks team is not giving you much to believe in. At least believe in the fact that maybe we can get a game-changing player in the 2026 NHL draft. All right, a lot of tank commander talk in the opening part of the show. Let us know in the comments, should the Canucks fire Foote in this season, or should you just ride it out, keep him till the end of the year? On the other side, let's go through report cards. A couple guys I do want to shout out for better or for worse. We'll talk about that on the other side and get to some of your comments here on Locked On Canucks. All right, before we get back to, let's shout out our friends over at FanDuel. And I did mention this heading into the game tonight. We were shouting out FanDuel. The Canucks were plus 260 to win this game tonight against the Colorado Avalanche. That's one of the biggest underdog spreads that they've had in a long time. And obviously, FanDuel knew what they were talking about here, right? The Colorado Avalanche winning this one pretty easily, in my opinion, kicking it up a notch in the second period, dominating the Canucks, getting a couple of goals, boom, bam, game over. But it's not just NHL you can find on FanDuel. You can find NFL as well. They're big into that. NFL Sundays, they move fast, and you can make it a little bit more exciting with FanDuel. With FanDuel, you can place bets as the action unfolds, every drive, every momentum swing, every highlight moment. Shout out to the Seahawks for giving me something to cheer about, be happy about on a Sunday right now. And for you, if you want to be right in the middle of the action, go visit FanDuel.com and place your live NFL bets all season long. FanDuel, the game moves fast, unlike the Canucks. And guess what? So can you. All right, we're back here on Locked On Canucks. My name's Trevor Begg. Shout out to Kyle Bowen, joining from his car in the first segment. And I just wish this hockey team worked as hard as Kyle and I did, man. And again, not the smartest guys in the world, but you got me podcasting outside so my family doesn't wake up. You got Kyle podcasting from his car. At least we're trying to put in the work, man. This Canucks team, just put in the work, okay? We can appreciate a good effort, but every night it's 12 shots after 2 periods. And again, I know it's a good Colorado team over there, and they could have gotten their asses absolutely handed to them tonight. That didn't happen, but the effort level is questionable. Speaking of questions, let's see what the commenter said about my question. Should they fire Foote before the end of the season? Cosmic Dragon, man, bringing the hippie vibes, man. Ride it out, man. Ride it out with Adam Foote, man. It's all good, man. Let's go. Yeah, honestly, I don't see the pressing need to make a change right now because this Canucks season is more or less lost, right? I know I did the optimistic episode about a week ago. Go check that one out. What are the similarities between this Canucks team and the St. Louis Blues that won the Cup in 2018-19? And there are some similarities if you really want to go down the optimistic boulevard. But man, oh man, when you got a coach in place like Foote that hasn't inspired a lot of confidence, and you got no second line center. You barely have a third line center. I know we've been pumping up Achiratu, but he does have 1 goal in 23 games now, or 24 games for this hockey club. David Kampf is your second line center. This guy has barely played hockey this year before joining this team. There are things working against the Canucks despite the similarities to the 2018-19 St. Louis Blues. But how did the rest of the team perform? I like to break it down, look at it player by player. So let's do that here with 5-ish minutes for report cards. All right, 5-ish minutes for report cards here on Locked On Canucks. And let's start at the top with a good old Tom Willander, okay? Again, overall, I'm liking Tom Willander's game. I give him a beat tonight. Again, it wasn't a stand-up performance by any means. Possession stats, game score, all about equal. But he's a reason to watch the Canucks right now, in my opinion. And I think he's the second best right shot defenseman on this team. Sorry, Tyler Myers. He should be playing more. Lander only played 13 minutes tonight. Bump up his ice time. We don't need Marcus Pettersson and Tyler Myers playing 20 plus minutes a night at this point. Brock Besser, glad to see him get back out there on the ice. Right at the end of the game after looking like he got tied up and hurt his arm there. Almost scores even to make it a 1-goal game. I feel for Brock right now too. No second line center, still trying to do the most of there. I'm giving him a C plus. And there's not many Canucks that should be getting, B's, minuses, and above, I don't think. Pierre-Olivier Joseph apparently played this game. Let's give him a C. Archdeep Baines, gonna give him a C plus. Okay. He sets up Linus Karlsson for the Canucks' lone goal of the game. Also was caught defensively a couple times with Colorado buzzing in their own end. Just a guy that's still looking tentative, looking out of position. I want the Surrey board to figure it out, but it just hasn't quite happened yet. Philip Hronek, still a steadying presence back there for the Vancouver Canucks, but I thought this is a bit of a tougher game for him. A lot of times where Philip Hronek was pinned in his own end in this one. Let's give him a C plus on the night as well. Drew O'Connor. Look, this is a thing with many Canucks tonight, but I found like there were a lot of pucks being passed into skates. Drew O'Connor, some of his passes were behind guys. This certainly wasn't the only guy on the team that was like that. And just with Adam Foote again, with the lineup, man, what are you thinking, man? I know this team has no centers, and that hurts, but Drew O'Connor, Max Sasson, and Jake DeBrusk just felt so random. Jake DeBrusk's been a black hole at even strength. Max Sasson, he's been fine in spurts, but hasn't done well playing up the lineup. Just nothing making sense right now. Again, Adam Foote, the perfect tank commander, man. Drew O'Connor, let's give him a C. Jonathan Lekkerimäki. I was excited to see Jonathan Lekkerimäki get more opportunity tonight, and this is what a team like the Canucks should be doing, giving their young guys some rope and some opportunity to play. I mean, make sure they earn it, and I think Lekkerimäki has earned it in limited minutes. He's shown that he can produce in the minors. Defensively, he doesn't get caught out of position. A shot block in this game as well. I'm going to give him a B minus tonight. Again, the Canucks still got one power play opportunity. I'd like to see Lekkerimäki get some more time there. Marcus Pettersson, C. Elias Pettersson, C. Quinn Hughes. Man, Quinn Hughes, this is the crazy thing about the Canucks season, right? Is Quinn Hughes, he's on pace to have the most ice time per game since 2016-17. I believe that was Erik Karlsson, if not mistaken. But the fact that this guy, again, he was a few seconds shy of playing 30 minutes tonight, and the Canucks still aren't doing anything, even with Hughes trying to play Superman out there with the Deeks, the Dangles. I enjoy watching Quinn Hughes do this thing in there. I'm going to give him a B tonight. It's not his fault that the rest of the team doesn't give a shit right now. Kiefer Sherwood. Kiefer Sherwood. This is the best and worst of Kiefer Sherwood tonight, I thought, for the Vancouver Canucks. I mean, you get a guy who's 6 shots on net, 4 hits, gets a breakaway, but is also running around defensively as well in his own end and getting caught. Again, let's see what the Canucks can get for this guy. Let him score a goal and then trade him. I'm going to miss Kiefer Sherwood as well tonight. Give him a B minus. Atu Ratu, again, filling in the Max Sasson spot with Linus Karlsson, Archdeep Baines. He was fine. Let's give him a C. Tyler Myers, C minus. Max Sasson gets a C plus to me. Again, the speed is noticeable on a team like the Canucks that's as slow as they are. Max Sasson's speed stands out. But again, he's best suited for that fourth line center role, and that's just the Canucks can't afford it right now because they got 2 fourth line centers in Camp and Sasson. You even argue that Atu Ratu may be better suited to be a fourth line center as well. It's tough to win hockey games, especially when you're playing the Colorado Avalanche. David Kampf, again, so overmatched in the second line center role, man. I feel bad for David Kampf, At least he's got, one kid at home, another on the way. It's nice having kids. I tell Kyle all the time. It's makes you less sad about things in life like your hockey team winning and losing games. But David Kampf, again, he just looks like a borderline NHL player. I'm going to give him a C minus. Jake DeBrusk gets a C minus as well. Evander Kane, looks like he got a skate to the arm there at the end of the game. We'll see if there's an update there after I hop off the pod here. Let's give him a C plus on the night. Again, he's actually had a couple moments where he's looked better than a lot of forwards on this team, but it's such a low bar. And Linus Karlsson, man, let's shout out Linus Karlsson for a second here at the end of the list on report cards. This is a guy that got opportunity tonight. Got opportunity playing on the top line in Lekkerimäki's spot in the third period alongside Elias Pettersson. Got opportunities when the Canucks were up at 6-on-5. Showed off the silky mitts with that goal as well. Linus Karlsson has done everything the Canucks could have asked of him. And he talked about it being tough at the beginning of the season too, having to sit in the press box and wait for his opportunity. And then, of course, with all the injuries, he doesn't get out of the lineup. But, Linus Karlsson, he's obviously surpassed Archibald Baines. He made Lucas Reichel an afterthought. That was a guy that this organization had hope for as well. So shout out to Linus Karlsson, man. At least the Canucks got a good story here amidst all the turmoil and all the garbage. Kevin Lankin, let's give him a C tonight as well. He didn't let him 4 goals tonight, though. Kyle Bowen should be happy about that. That was 5-ish minutes for report cards. Let's shout out a sponsor and wrap up here on Locked On Canucks. Oh, baby. Let's shout out our friends over at Drip Drop. I need a little hydration right now, man. I didn't bring my Drip Drop outside with me, and I'm feeling it, man. That's why you got to have the Drip Drop every day, baby, because when I'm hydrated, everything just works better. My focus, energy, mood, my penis, and even my skin looks better. That's why I've been using Drip Drop. It's doctor-developed hydration that keeps me running at full power, no matter what my day looks like. It allows me to get up in the morning, get some work done, and podcast in the night here on Locked On Canucks. A great Christmas gift too, okay? You want your girlfriend to be more hydrated, your boyfriend to be more hydrated? Get them Drip Drop. It delivers 3 times the electrolytes and half the sugar of leading brands using a science-backed formula trusted by medical professionals, firefighters, and over 90% of top college and pro teams. Your girlfriend, she's going to love it. Right now, Drip Drop's offering our podcast listeners here at Locked On Canucks 20% off your first order. Go to dripdrop.com and use promo code LOCKEDONNHL. That's dripdrop.com, promo code LOCKEDONNHL for 20% off. Stock up now and keep your body and mind performing at their best with Drip Drop, baby. All right, I'm back here on Locked On Canucks, your Canucks every day and every night. And you know what? I appreciate all of you and any of you for tuning in. We're going to get through this together, okay? And again, I said it earlier on in the show, I'm on team keep Adam Foote with this organization. I mean, look, the Blazers fan 22 knows he was not a good coach in the WHL either. You heard a lot about that. And sure, guys can learn, but it's better for them to learn maybe at the AHL level, instead of with the NHL team. But look, I think you just ride out with Adam Foote until Manny Malhotra is ready. The Canucks are lucky that they signed him to an extension, keep him in the organization. And I think Manny Malhotra knows he's probably got a shot here as well. He's a pretty smart guy. And again, I'm going to enjoy being around the rink too, talking to Manny Malhotra. I just think he's very articulate, explains things well. With every coach, there's some highs and lows when you're talking to the media. But with Adam Foote, it's man, oh man, it's just been such a rough ride with all the secrecy about the injuries, the lack of the structure out there, and the team is just not playing for him, right? I think part of your job as an NHL head coach is to motivate your team. Like when you see half-ass performances out there like that, you wake them the F up. Again, like Rick Tocchet, he wasn't a perfect coach either. But our everydayers here on Locked On Canucks know. Back in April, when, there was a decision about whether or not Tocchet was going to stay or not, we were vouching for Tocchet to stay in Vancouver. And I know the offense was a bit of a joke under Tocchet, but at least they could defend. This team can't do anything right now. And with Rick Tocchet too, he kept guys in line, We never know what's said behind closed doors, but even in the media, calling out the team for lack of effort. I still remember that game very clearly, Boston, December of last year. We said, guys are, not emotionally invested in the game. Like, where is that honesty with this team? Instead, you get Adam Foote after every loss talking about how well they played. And then after wins talking about, we should have done this better. It's just like, what is going on with this hockey team right now? But hey, you know what, man? I got a job to do when the Canucks are back at home at Rogers Arena. Talk to the players, talk to Footy. But man, oh man, I'm just saying, keep this guy in the fold right now for the Vancouver Canucks because the tank mission is on. And I guess the last question I want to pose here is, can the Canucks actually finish as the worst team in the NHL? I mentioned earlier on that I'm skeptical of it because this team is historically, with this core, got on late season runs, pushing for a playoff berth. They inevitably fail. And then they try to sell hope in this market saying, look at the good end of last season. Like they turned things around. Things are going to be better. And they were once, right? In 23-24 with Rick Tocchet. But for the most part, with this team, we have seen disappointing performances at the beginning of the season for most of the time with this core. It is likely time for a change for this core. I'm curious to see what that looks like off the bat. Whether or not Alvin and Rutherford, again, writing about it for Daily Hive today, I'm scared of them making the win now moves, the Jim Benning-esque moves. And I don't think it'll ever be as bad as Jim Benning, but are they going to target, younger guys, 22, 23 years old? And I just don't think that's the right move for this organization. Do something different. It's been 55 years, man. I'm choking up, man. I just want the Vancouver Canucks to win. It gets so sad, watching the game with my kids and, my daughter's cheering, go Canucks, go, go Canucks, go. And then she sees the score and then she's like, oh, yeah, that's what's like being a Canucks fan. One day it will be better. Let's give the last comment here on Locked On Canucks, because the people, man, I'm nothing without you. All right, let's go here to NGK saying, if we trade Quinn, Kiefer, Garland, Hronik, and Lankinen and have invited Demko, I'd be shocked if we finish higher than last. Look, again, this team has historically gone on late season runs, but of course, they could start selling assets here to really accelerate the tank to the bottom of the standings. And, the Flames team, again, we saw them beat the Canucks. They play hard. Nashville's got some talent as well. There's lots of parity in the NHL. So this might be the opportunity for the Canucks to, fully perfect the tank and draft as high as they've ever drafted since they got the Sedins in 1999. And look how much that changed the franchise, right? Sometimes you got to go through a bit of pain for the long-term gain. And this is something this organization has not been willing to do. I think now is probably the time. As J-Lo's saying, we should have tanked for Bedard. The Canucks chose talking over Bedard. Don't make the same mistake. Canucks, hear that? Don't make the same mistake. I'm Trevor Beggs. Thanks again for tuning into Locked On Canucks. If you like what we're doing, hit the like button, subscribe to the show. No matter what this team does, we got you covered morning, noon, and night, baby. Again, you've been listening to Locked On Canucks.
You're Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.